Hi, my name's Amy. I am an adult nurse and a children's nurse, and I'm also a university tutor supporting students on a range of health professional programmes. So today's short video, is one of a series that's been made by the Nursing Standard. Working together with a number of people like myself, we've compiled some hints and tips just really to give you ideas of how you might manage some of the most common problems that students face. So today we're going to be looking at some tips about when a placement is difficult. So over the course of your programme, you are going to have some placements I hope that you will just love every moment of, but you're also going to have some placements that you find more challenging than others. The reason for that could be varied. It might well be that just you're finding that balance at the moment of university work, studying, placement, just juggling everything, all a little bit overwhelming, and actually the workload, the knowledge, the learning is just too much at this moment. It might be the type of placement, so maybe you're on a more emotionally challenging placement and you're actually just finding the content and the experiences that you're having, some of the things that you're seeing, just a little bit more upsetting than maybe other placements have been. Might well be that you are not really connecting very well with your practice supervisor and you're not feeling that you're getting the attention or the opportunities that you were hoping for. It may be a placement where you're just generally finding that you're not feeling that the staff are particularly helpful to you as a student. Now, sometimes that can just be related to a really busy environment, some stress, particularly on that placement area at that time. Because we have to be realistic about healthcare practice, and sometimes places will be under a little bit more pressure, and you may be feeling that as a student. If there's some tension in the practice area, you may pick up on that even if it's not personal to you at all. And then last, and I probably think this is the most common one, actually just at the moment there are other things in your life, other pressures that are causing you distress or impacting on your ability, and so those pressures within your personal life are having an impact on how well you're experiencing and enjoying the placement. So we want to think about some of the things that you might well be able to do to improve that and hopefully aim to make it better for you. So the most important thing is to not wait. Don't wait until the end of a placement and evaluate it negatively or just say to a tutor, I didn't enjoy it, when actually we might well have been able to intervene and do something to help you. So the earlier you can tell someone that you're struggling, the more likely that that placement can be turned around and improved for you and you'll have a better experience. Next, start talking to people. There's so many people that you could talk to help you. And I would suggest that friends and family are actually the first port of call. Ideally, brilliant if they know about the course and they understand the pressure. So maybe some of your colleagues that are on the course. Obviously, at this point, you need to be making sure you stick to a professional response and that you're following the code and you're keeping confidential. But it's okay to talk to people and to say that you're finding it hard. They may come up with some ideas and solutions that help to improve it. The next thing to think about, though, is maybe to talk to one of your university tutors. Again, sometimes you just want someone to listen to you, bounce off ideas. They'll probably have come across the problems before. So have they got an idea on how you might be able to address the problem yourself? Most people want to manage their own problems. So bounce off some ideas with them and see whether they can help you to solve it. It may well be that you want the tutor to intervene, and that will be a discussion the two of you have, and they could do that for you. But often actually you just want to come up with some solutions yourself. The next one, and especially if your problem is more personal and about something outside, talk to your practice supervisors, your practice assessors. The people that are there in practice to help you want to support and do understand that we all have different things going on in our lives. But they can't help you unless they know about them. So you need to try and find someone within the practice environment that you can trust, that you feel comfortable with, and you want to share that information. And then they may well be able to do things that can alleviate some of that pressure for you. If you're going to have practice meetings, particularly if you're having meetings about your performance in practice, maybe you are struggling in this placement, make sure you take a pen and paper Make sure you take down some notes, make sure you have some really clear ideas on what people are looking for from you, so you can refer back to them, and you've got a clear structure and idea on what actions are needed and how you might develop. The next thing to think about is that there is so much support out there. In your university, you've almost certainly got a centre for wellbeing. You'll have other student services. You'll have other areas of student support, maybe student union, student reps, other people that you can talk to. So it is important that you source all of the opportunities that are available to you. But then there are other really simple things, just as maybe doing some exercise, stepping away from the placement for a while, making sure you keep time for yourself. When you raise a problem, whoever you're raising it to, try and also go prepared with a solution. Nursing is about problem solving. Actually, what everyone will be looking for you is some understanding of what would make it better. So have a think about what it is that you want, what maybe would make that experience better. What is it you're looking for? If we went back to one of the examples at the beginning, which was maybe about opportunities, actually the first question you're going to get is, well, what do you want to see while you're here? What experiences do you feel you're missing out on? So go prepared with ideas of what would make it more interesting, what would make it better for you. It can be really hard when emotions are running high, but try and not to think, the placement doesn't like me, the placement wants to fail me. Try and think positively about what can I do to make this experience better for myself. We do know that when you're being assessed, that really is challenging, but try to take yourself out of it for a second and come up with some of those solutions, because that's the sort of thing that people will be looking for. Even when a placement is difficult, one of the things that's important to understand is that moving students, stopping placements, actually tends to have a number of consequences for you as much as for the placement area. So actually it's often not the best solution. The best solution is to see if we can go back and unpick and solve what the problems are, rather than just reactively moving you out or taking you out of the placement. So the last thing to think about is always make sure, especially if the problem is around emotion, this course is challenging. We know being in practice is emotionally difficult, so take some time for yourself, take some time to step back, take stock and have a think about what you can do, but also how you can look after yourself best. On the whole, your placements should be experiences that you love and relish, but we will all have a placement that's challenging. So maybe have a think about what are the ways you could get the most out of it.